What's up? It's Sammy, the Spanish guy Guevara, and new TNT champion. And you, yes, you, right now are listening to the
Bob Culture Podcast.
Bob Culture Podcast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Nothing between the lines of the page or out of time. Forgiveness is for angels with its angel spell out of line. Lost in no second chance or redemption can be found. When you can't hold the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a very special All Elite Wrestling Winter is Coming predictions panel episode of the BCP. Very excited right now to be talking with our all-star best friends panel, the best in the business, guys. Please welcome in first a man who's making a list and checking it twice, probably about wrestling. He is hashtag lay editor-in-chief of the popbreak.com, hashtag dad instincts, our good friend, our father figure, Mr. Bill Bodkin. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Yay. Well, I'm doing good. We're talking about AEW. Why wouldn't you have me on? It's the most wonderful time of year. Winter is coming all over the place. We're right here, guys. It's going to be great.
I can't wait. Bill, thank you for making the time. And please welcome back all the way from Texas. You know her as the Mrs. Claus of Mission Pro Wrestling and the GM of Mission Pro Wrestling. Please welcome back our good friend, Miss Amandalorian. Amanda, what up? How are you?
I'm good. Coming off a great show we had on Saturday. Go watch the title match. It was fantastic. Crowd was hot. The matches, it was great. It was a great way to kick off the holidays for me. And I'm just always happy to be here with the coolest people in the land. That's all I got to say. Like, you guys are the best. So I'm happy to be here and excited.
Almost as cool as Lady Frost, who you were hanging out with. That was a heck of a rock. I think the Grinch was there. Mm-hmm. Santa was there. I mean, that looked like a great time. Guys, check it out. Shameless promo, Title Match Network, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Are you going to Winter is Coming since it's in your state, even though that state is the size of 7 states?
Yeah, I wish. I have to actually work. I have to actually work on Wednesday. Otherwise, I would.
Bummer.
Hey, that's how it be. And please welcome back to the show someone who works harder than all the elves in the North Pole. You know her from Kimmy Talks Wrestling. You know her from Damage 365 Promotions, Rack Attack Promotions, the popbreak.com, and the BCP. The list goes on and on. Maria Kanellis' personal protege, Miss Kimmy Sokol. Kimmy, what up? How are you?
I'm excited because I get to see Maria this weekend. So I'm like, yes, please tell me everything that happened in Final Battle. I'm pretty good, but can I break some news?
Always. Yes. Here for it.
Hello there.
It's not about me. And it's not about wrestling. But
oh boy.
Oh.
Wow. Bill was so excited. So
I was.
I was in on a very delectable meeting this afternoon, and I'm very excited to announce that my roommate is now a published author, and she's publishing her first book in 3 months.
Awesome.
Hey!
Congratulations.
I told her I would do that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to shout you out. I'm going to be a really good person this year, and I'm going to give shameless promo not to me. I'm going to think of other people besides myself this holiday season.
It's a season of giving, and it's Allie, right? Congratulations, Allie.
Yes, it is Allie. Good job, Allie.
Very, very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into it, guys. Obviously, we know there's only 4 matches on this card, so I think we're going to lead off with something a little different. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world of wrestling here in the end of 2021. A lot of speculation as Kimmy is pointing to the chalkboard. Let me take a look and see what that says over there. What does that say over there, Kimmy?
Johnny Winter is coming. Come on.
Johnny Winter, his brother Edgar, the Winter Brothers. They throw a hell of a show. They're usually at the Wonder Bar in Asbury around this time of year. I guess they're going to be in Texas.
Hey, we'll see. But Bill, said off air that TK was doing an interview. Obviously, we know Sting came in last year. TK kind of teasing something big happening at this. I was going to say that there only being 4 matches, that there was going to be something big. I think Danielson Hangman is also going to get a lot of time. We'll get into that in a little bit, but a lot of speculation here going on. ROH having their final battle on Saturday. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Do we see some of these guys and gals coming over from ROH? Do we see Johnny Winter coming? Do we see a UE unofficial reunion coming? Lots to talk about. Let's throw it to the goodest sister. I see you have some stuff on the chalkboard. Your thoughts on who may or may not be showing up at Winter is Coming and moving forward.
So I think it'd be really funny if Danhausen came dressed as Santa for Winter is Coming. I think that's
Would it be hilarious, or would it be the greatest gift for me ever? That's
why I wrote it. I was thinking of you, and I was like, "How can I make Bill so excited?" And there you go.
I'm excited.
Love that,
I'm
Dan.
2 for 2. Oh, look, I'm just making everyone's day. Like, this is really big for me. But besides that, and besides Johnny, I think we're going to see a lot of Ring of Honor women because there was a certain someone who appeared at the end of the women's match who's kind of looking for another title in her belt. But Willow, I think, will be All Elite soon enough.
Really?
Oh,
you go
nice.
you go to Willow. I like that. I'm here for it. That's very interesting. Obviously, I'm just going to throw Vita into the mix. Just had her on the show. I've been a big fan of her here at Goddesses on the scene over the past year and a half. So she's amazing.
They're champions now.
Yes, they are. That's it. And it was good to see that they got that. That's amazing. All right. Very cool. Let's throw it to Amanda. Do you have any thoughts on who may be showing up at Winter is Coming or become All Elite moving forward?
I feel like I don't know yet if I want to say I feel comfortable enough saying who I think will be All Elite, but I feel like we might see the Briscoes.
They've been.
That's who I think. I think you know, that's I want to see them in some way, shape, or form because of all the possibilities that could happen. That's who I'm going to go with. That's what my gut is telling me.
I love that you brought that up. Those are some guys that, you know, we saw in ROH when I went to like my first ROH show. They were there when, you know, Bryan Danielson was there, Kevin Steen, like they've been there forever. I think they had a little run in Impact as well, but they're phenomenal. They're just one of those. Weren't they in Impact for a little tiny bit?
It was always the rumor that they were going to go there, but
yes.
But no, so they were on.
I remember like flyers with them on it.
In TNA, they were on like early year one, like a couple shows here and there. That was it.
Early TNA.
Okay, because I'm like, I have it in my head, but okay, but I get what you're saying. But
Briscoes are day one Ring of Honor.
Exactly. And that's why it's so wild that they never really got to be on that AEW level, that WWE level, which was always very shocking to me. That's how it be a lot of times, especially with tag teams. So that's a great pick, Amanda. I love that. Bill, I know you have a lot of thoughts on this one. What do you got for me?
So the Briscoes, I interviewed the Briscoes. Unfortunately, the audio could never make air because it was awful. They chose Ring of Honor. They wanted to be there because they have full-time, like that chicken farming thing is real. So they always wanted to stay there. They had offers, but they always felt at home and they got paid well. So they're like, all right, we're gonna stay here. Obviously, they shot that angle with FTR. And man, if you did not see that, it looked pretty real how much they didn't like each other, which which was awesome. I mean, so I think the Briscoes will be next week at Christmas Smash or Holiday Smash, whatever it's called, because they're in the Carolinas where FTR is from. So it's a kind of you came to our home, we're coming to your home type deal. And a little battle of the belts happening in early January. So I think that's where we'll see that. I think Cool Kyle does show up. I wouldn't be shocked if he comes in. I would love to see it if he joins Best Friends first, as they're the Elite has the advantage, the numbers advantage, and they're like, hey, Adam Cole, we brought in your former best friend who you left behind in Orlando and you screwed him. And then, of course, Kyle being Kyle ends up screwing them and he goes with the Elite. There's so many people who are going to come in. Bret Hart's going to come in for sure for the Owen. I think Danhausen will be there. I mean, the guy live tweets about friggin' AEW constantly, so I think he has to be there. And then we got all those releases coming probably in next year with like Ember Moon and Keith Lee and maybe Jonathan Gresham. There's a lot of people out there, man, that could be coming in. It's pretty damn exciting. And don't forget the Forbidden Door, it's swinging wide open at any time.
Very, very well said. And
always
we all mentioned Danhausen for the most part. I was watching AEW Dark just a little bit ago, and a lot of the chat, like during the match, was Danhausen this or something Hausen or da. I mean, if I was running a promotion right now, one of the first guys I would sign, money, merchandise, just the YouTube views, the interaction. The guy has it all. The guy has money. Signed Danhausen for sure.
They literally have a shirt based off a joke he made.
That's what
the ass boys is his joke.
It's done. It's done. It's got to be a done deal at this point. That being said, though, we are a very pro Johnny show. We've talked about it forever. I'm not going to go on a big thing here, but we'll say this. Like Kimmy said, I think Johnny Winter is coming. Is it going to be this Wednesday? I don't think so, because I'd like my article to drop and have a nice little, let it settle. Then we get the interview with Johnny, and then I got it planned out, right?
I
get
think
the interview.
Johnny Cleveland rocks.
Benny shows up. I think that's a good point, though.
If he does show up, I think it's Cleveland, because
when is that?
That's early January. I want to say.
I think that's right.
Early to mid.
I thought mid at least, like at the latest.
Not mid, like MJF says, but middle of January. And also, don't forget, the one I will scream loudly and throw something out my window if and when it does happen. Kevin Steen returns to.
Oh, he's gone.
Kevin Steen. Oh, he has to be. And if he's not, I will be so sad. But yeah, I think if Johnny Gargano does show up, it will be in Cleveland, because there will be no building left once he shows up.
Yeah.
January 26th is the date.
So it's not.
I feel like Kimmy knows something.
I just looked it up on Google.
Oh, okay.
It's called.
Oh no, I thought you said like it was like you knew someone that was bringing him.
But
in.
he's definitely a free agent. He's not back with them. He is on Pro Wrestling tweet. Pro Wrestling tweets. It's very twee. It's Pro Wrestling tweets. He has a whole line of suit jackets. It's great.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other one, I don't know if we should talk about it or not, is I do think Jeff Hardy will end up there if and when he decides to wrestle again.
Yeah, I think we do. It's one of those things, like I didn't want to like fantasy book him yet. You know what I mean? Because we don't know what the situation is. Like I have a gut feeling.
Matt Hardy said on Twitch like an hour ago that he's okay.
I figured that because I saw Matt put out the tweet. And who knows, like, we all know people that have gone through addiction. We know how people have battled it in different ways, or they find other addictions, whatever it is, or cope in different ways. We're not saying that is the case. I hate to speculate. We're all about journalistic integrity here. Maybe he just wanted to get out of there. He found a way to do it, to get out of there. We don't know the story.
1 year passing of his dad coming up real soon, and I could tell you that fucks really hard. It really does.
There you go. Real talk.
I'm not sorry for swearing. I always swear, but that probably hit him hard too. So, listen, I'll just say this: would I love to see Jeff Hardy in AEW? Yes. I also love it if Jeff Hardy never wrestled again and he was a perfectly happy human being. He's given us 20 plus years of awesome matches and great memories. So, whatever he decides to do, I'm cool with it. And I think people need to stop with the bullshit online of he acted his way out, or he finally can go be free. Just stop. Let him be right. Let him be happy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we don't know. I always hate like clickbait and narratives and all that stuff. And that's another reason I don't want to like fantasy book him yet. Hopefully we do have a fun podcast where, we know everything's good.
Where you have Jeff Hardy on and you just talk about.
Oh, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Never say never, Bill. You know the deal. That being said, though, I just wanted to say this. When Johnny did come out at War Games, we got the Rebel Heart, the comes in like we're going nuts. There were some man tears. I'm not gonna lie. Hashtag man tears. There were some man tears at the BCB compound. Not gonna lie, wouldn't be the first time. Hashtag Rocky 4. But I'll say this. When Johnny comes out and he kind of puts his head down and collects himself, we may or may not have watched it 3 or 4 times. It was a really long time. Like it seemed quick because he's doing his entrance, but he put his head down. He collected himself, and then and he got himself together good. He did his whole spiel. It was great. The gear, hashtag wrestling fashion, was awesome. But as soon as he put his head down, the first time we watched it, I go, he's gone. And I think, he's going elsewhere. Is that Raw or SmackDown? I really don't think so for a lot of reasons. Is it AEW? Is doing an indie tour? Who knows? Is it to be Johnny Fatherhood? Who knows? I think, that's.
He's definitely has to do that.
No, well, you know what I mean. I mean, obviously.
He'd be a real piece of shit if he didn't.
Wow. But I would hope to see Johnny Gargano in All Elite Wrestling. I would love to see him in Newark. I'd love to see him in Atlantic City when they come this way. So we shall definitely see. And as Kimmy is pointing to the board, Johnny Winter is coming. That being said, nice segue here. Let's talk about Winter is Coming. We'll start with Sheeta taking on Serena Deeb in this very interesting feud that's kind of gone back and forth. We see a little bit more fiery Serena Deeb. This has been very interesting. And on past shows, I've talked about how great the booking and the swerves were on this one. I took the bait on a lot of the booking here and they swerved me and I really, really liked it. So I'm enjoying this one. But who gets the payoff here? Would it be the former AEW Women's Champion? Let's start with Amanda. Your thoughts on this match?
I've really enjoyed the storytelling in this whole buildup because I really like even just AEW throwing back like, hey, remember that these two, they had the inaugural women's match. Sheeta won. Just even referencing their history, and you can really just get the passion, the fire in the promos. I feel like this is going to be, for me, the one of the top two matches of the night. I feel like, just because I think it's going to be hard hitting. I think it's going to be fun. I think you're going to get that heated long time rivalry just out there. I kind of went back and forth on this one, trying to decide who I thought would win, and I feel like it's going to be Sheeta.
Really? Yes, I'm having a hard time picking this one.
It's and that's just like gut reaction. I do hope it's Serena, but for some reason, again, it's just the force. The force is telling me it's probably going to be Sheeta.
And she is strong with the force. We know this.
Yes.
Amandalorian is strong with the force. That's right. Kimmy, we see you pointing to the board. It looks like you were pointing to Serena Deeb. Tell us why you got Serena Deeb as your pick.
I mean, come on. This girl's got to get pushed eventually. She's fought through injuries. She's fought through a really hard time WWE, and now she's here. People finally value her and realize, wow, this girl's actually pretty talented. Like, thank you. We've known. Like, come on, people. But I think this is a big 2022 for Deeb, and what a great way to end 2021 with a huge win over Sheeta.
Wow. See, I'm still having trouble picking. Let's throw it to the man with a more glorious beard than Santa Claus himself. Bill, what do you think?
These are facts, people. But speaking of swerves, there's a guy who's going to show up in AEW for sure.
Nice.
But this is a tough one too. I love pissed off Sheeta. I love angry Sheeta. Like when they cut to her promo this week, she's like, "How dare you, you bitch!" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's gonna be great." This is so tough because it's like what you're doing here is you have to. I don't know who they're building either one of these to go after. I think it's the first TBS champion who they're going after. So that's why I think it's going to be Serena Deeb as well, because I think you're going to have a face versus face, or you're going to have, I think Ruby's going to win the TBS title. I think that's what I'm thinking. Although it could be Jade because I don't know. But it could, but I think it's Ruby. And I think, man, give me that match all day. Those two going to be great. And Ruby could lose that title real quick and it wouldn't take anything away from her. And you have Serena Deeb go on the long run with it and Ruby trying to get back in the chase with it, taking it to maybe double or nothing. And I would love to see a women's Iron Woman match with Serena and Ruby and or Sheeta going down the road. I think it'd be great, especially at a pay-per-view. So let's make that happen. So I'm going to go Serena Deeb, but I think this does a lot for Sheeta. I think like 2022, you have to give more than Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa storylines, and so let's like have this kind of. They've been talking about this Joshi faction, like make Sheeta the mob boss. She's got the white jacket. It's perfect. Make it happen. And like, I think it could lead to something great for Sheeta, but I think Serena Deeb, who benefits most? Serena Deeb. She's got to win this one.
Yeah, Bill, you stole my thunder, which would have been way punnier if Thunder Rosa was in this one. That being said, I was reaching Christina Ricci over here. I think
Christ, you thought of
this is why Bill's here. That's pun disputed. Serena Deeb, I'm going to go with her just for the reasons you said. I think she's going to be the first contender for that TBS championship. On the show, we already know I picked with my brain, not my heart. I think Ruby Soho is going to be the first ever inaugural TBS championship, finally being able to catch some gold in a major promotion. We will be there, Kimmy, January 5th. It's gonna be awesome. Bill, I think you're gonna be there, right?
I'm there.
I'm
there.
That's awesome.
Living in luxury, as I always do.
Yeah, that VIP super platinum Bill Bodkin over there. I got to go Serena Deeb for all those reasons. I'm excited to see what they do with Sheeta, but it's one of those things like she just had some stellar match. She was one of my match of the year picks. What was it last year versus Thunder Rosa? I think she's going to be not necessarily put on the back burner, but go in a different direction. So I think for all those reasons, Serena Deeb will win and go on to face Ruby Soho. That being said, Ruby Soho taking on Chris Statlander, phenomenal match. Love that match. So good. Let's take it to Matt Sydal taking on Wardlow. That's my guy right there. Wardlow. Is anyone not picking Wardlow? Let's start there. Kimmy pointing to Wardlow. What do you got, Kimmy?
Why wouldn't Wardlow win? I mean, Jesus Christ, can he just split up from MJF already? Like, I don't understand.
I like the
why
slow
we were
burn.
waiting.
They have slow burned him.
No, I'm sick and tired of this. Okay, first of all, he eliminated Wardlow from the Diamond whatever Battle Royal. Okay, so that's first of all. Second of all, they've been hinting.
Diamond Ring Battle Royal.
I was gonna get there. Okay, it was gonna take a while, but I was gonna get there.
Gone. That's so weird.
Second of all, they've hinted at this. Yell at him. Second of all,
Rob, go to therapy.
Second of all, they have hinted this for 3 years and they're not doing anything with it, and I'm sick and tired of it. So Wardlow's winning, and yeah, split them up already. I'm done.
Yeah, I love Wardlow. Like, I was loving the slow burn. In fact, they almost slow burned him so much that like he had maybe 2 or 3 matches in a year's time that were televised anyway. Rarely on Dark. Like now, more often you're seeing him on Dark. Been on Dynamite a few more times, so they're ramping up his usage more. I like Wardlow a lot. Like I've said it in the past. I'll probably get a little heat for this, but I could see him way down the line being a Roman Reigns caliber competitor. Way down, not now, way down the line. Experience. We don't know what he's capable of on the mic, to be honest. Maybe he's really, really good. Who knows? But I like this slow build with him and MJF. Even just like the little shots MJF takes. Like, hey, get out of here. You're like, yeah, I don't need you. Like, come on, big guy. Like, who signed your check? Like, I love all that little stuff. And I'm not even the biggest MJF guy. Not to be like, oh, he's a bad guy. You're not supposed to like him. But that being said, it's got to be Wardlow here. And Wardlow's going to powerbomb this guy at least 10 times. Amanda, what do you think?
I agree. I think we're going to see lots of power bombs, and I just feel like, this is another way for when Wardlow eventually turns face. It's going to be, everyone's going to be just ready for it. The slow burn is just going to be everybody. It's going to be so pumped when he finally turns on and just gets his revenge on MJF. It's going to be great. So I feel like that's what they're building him for, and I think we're still going to get a good match. I don't think it's going to be like a complete squash match. But Wardlow, I mean, I know Matt's going to, and I like Matt's ring work, but Wardlow, that's all. That's all you have to say. And power bombs. That's all you got to, power bombs.
Yeah, that's a hashtag power bombs. That's all you got to say. Like Seidel will hit his spots here and there, but there's going to be like one big move where he's springboarding up or he's jumping up, whatever it is. Caught by Wardlow. Power slam on the knee, power bomb, whatever it is. He's crisp too. He's real safe too. If you watch him in the ring, like I'm really big fan. I keep thinking about this singles run, but I never thought if he would be heel or face. And you go on him turning face, I'm like, oh yeah, because the crowd is already kind of behind him a little bit. So I didn't even think face or heel. Definitely a face. Very well said, Bill. Your thoughts?
Someone said this on the internet, and I completely agree. He's Batista. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He's the guy they're bringing along. Then one day everyone's like, just unleash this son of a bitch, because the crowd is so behind him.
Yeah.
He's going to keep power bombing guys, and everyone's going to be like, do it again. Just do it again. That's great. 6 more times. It'll be great. And I think this might be a short match, because I feel like Seidel will come out the gate strong, and then Wardlow's just going to pick him up, and he's just going to keep rocking him. And his first turn, I think when he turns face, eventually it'll be Spears as the first guy he's going to go through. Then eventually he'll get to MJF, because Spears is hilarious as his manager.
He is.
He's just like owning. He's just like, whatever, guys, I'm good. He's like, let's just keep going. He cracked some dude with a chair last week where he broke the chair, or 2 weeks ago, he broke the chair. Like he sent the back careening off of something. But yeah, Wardlow is great. He's going to be like, he's a guy we forget. We talk about the pillars, and then next generation. We've got Hook. We haven't talked about Hook and how great Hook is.
Yes.
Sent him. Hook, he was great. Rob, did you watch Hook's match?
I did watch Hook's match. Yes, I did.
Great.
Serpentico had the best tweet about him being an RPG character and his hair didn't move.
He is a Super Saiyan. His hair does not move. But I mean, you got Hook, Garcia, Lee Moriarty, Dante. You have all these guys, and you forget Jungle Boy's 23, Sammy Guevara's 26, 27, MJF, Super. They have such a young audience or young crew that Wardlow's down there too, like in age. So it's going to be pretty wild when, the older guys ride off into the sunset and this is the next crew. He is going to be huge. And he has talked before. He did a promo. I don't remember who he fought. Was it against Hangman or somebody else, where he was like in a gym or something like that, just talking. Everyone was like, oh shit, this guy's really good. He's really good. And it was just like, here's a little taste. We'll come back to this in 2 years, which is fine. He's going to, I love Matt Sydal, but he gonna lose hard, real hard.
You guys said that perfectly, and you guys have me more hyped for this match. And again, I love Wardlow, but I love the Batista comparison, Bill. You knocked that one out of the park. I wish it was like that show on ESPN.
I just want him to do this with MJF. He just does this and he goes, yeah, he's going to do it. He'll definitely, they'll both be like, do that Batista thing. It'll be great. And everyone will go nuts for it.
He just needs the theme song. He just needs a stellar theme song. Yeah. Come out.
No one could touch.
That's unstoppable.
No.
That video of Woods singing Batista's theme song is incredible. But let's go on. Let's talk about the MJF versus Dante Martin match for the Dynamite Diamond ring. Do we see the three-peat here for MJF, who was absolutely brilliant in Long Island? Absolutely brilliant. Or do we see Dante Martin with the upset? Now, you guys know I am a high-flying kind of guy, more flips in the morning shift at IHOP. I'm all about the high-flying, but I think it's going to be a good match. I think Dante is going to get to show off a little bit. In fact, a lot of it, as Nunez says, in this match. Your thoughts? Let's throw it to Kimmy.
Oh, okay. Hi. No, MJF's not going to go for this 3P. Dante Martin's going to take it. I know. Now I'm scared that everyone's going to pick MJF and I'm going to be like, oh, here I am in the corner all by myself. Yay. I think Dante's going to win. I think it makes more sense that he wins and goes on and actually does something with this ring. That's the other freaking problem. What does this ring do? Please explain.
Story of my life.
Okay, but besides
God damn it.
doesn't do anything.
I'm gonna punch you in the wiener, man. Like, stop.
That being said, and Kimmy, I think that's a fair pick. Like, I would pop if Dante Martin won there, but that's a really great point. Like, what have they done with the ring? Like, at one point, I forgot it was there. Like, even though he does like the little spot with the camera, I was like, oh yeah, that diamond ring thing's coming up. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, yeah, MJF still has that kind of a thing. So that's a very fair point.
You know what they should do?
Yeah, please.
They should, if Dante or MJF or whoever the hell wins, the winner should go face Sammy Guevara.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That. Yes.
Kimmy's like fidget spinner drop. I'll say this. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go for MJF to get the three-peat because we talked about on one of the last pay-per-view shows how MJF's record was surprisingly more of a losing record on pay-per-view. Why would we go from having this big dub and then having a loss to Dante Martin? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, not that he's going to lose anything from this or that he needs this, but I think they're escalating him to more of a number one contender position. This might not hurt it. In fact, maybe this gets him away from like the ring thing and more towards that number one contender. Maybe I'm contradicting myself here, but I think this is just going to be the highlight. It's going to be one of those matches where MJF wins, but we're cheering Dante Martin after the match. Kind of thing. So that's the way I see it. I say MJF gets the dub. Amanda, your thoughts?
For me, the big question was what would this win do to benefit MJF? He's won twice, and Kimmy brought up a great point. What's the point of this ring? Does you never see him really reference it. It doesn't come up very often. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, not It really serves no purpose. So that was my whole what does MJF get from this? He gets a W, which is great, but it doesn't do anything really for it doesn't have a powerful impact on his projection upwards. Again, unless, Kimmy had a great idea. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, Sammy, going up against Sammy, if there's some other benefit to winning the ring, even if it was something like a Money in the Bank type of thing, just something that made it just have more significance other than it just being kind of a token. If it had more significance, I could see MJF winning. I'm going to go join Kimmy and say Dante, because I feel like, he's going to come out looking really strong in this match. I think MJF will do a great job of putting him over. I mean, could we see something like a screwy finish to protect MJF? Sure. There are ways to protect MJF if they really, really want to, but I just feel like Dante's going to shine in this match, and it will have more meaning for his career than it would for MJF at this point. So I'm going with Dante on this one.
Wow, great answer. And you know what, you guys, I'm not going to change my answer, but you guys bring up some very good points. We also didn't talk about how Dante kind of swerved Team Taz a little bit, as we saw. I thought that was great, because my biggest complaint about AEW is like the overlapping factions upon overlapping factions. I know I'm in the minority on the podcast, but that is my one of very few complaints about AEW. Are they in the Pinnacle? Are they within Andrade? Yada, yada. We'll leave that alone because I know you have an answer, Bill. Your thoughts on this match?
It's them out for hire. It's said in the thing. It clear as day. Clear as day. They're not doing enough for the Pinnacle. I agree. I'm in agreement with that. So this match is very unusual for me because you have two guys who have a lot of moving parts around them. Right. So it's like MJF could win, but could you see CM Punk screwing MJF out of the ring? Could Wardlow accidentally cost him the match? But Dante Martin's got Team Taz who are getting after him, and they might send Hook. And brother, if you saw it on Friday, Hook don't miss. He's going to kill you. And by the way, Hook is going to be I said this a while ago, he's going to be the champion one day. He's going to be the champion. That dude is locked in. And you know who helped train him? Get him ready? MJF. So I'm going to go with Dante Martin because what they were saying, people have said about the Diamond Ring, and I've heard different pundits talk about it. I think Tony Khan even said it. It's like, this is MJF's title. This has been his claim to fame. I have this $40,000 Diamond Ring. Keep your belt. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to get more famous and defeat all these big names and do all these things. But now it's time to move him away from that because this is his graduation. Okay, you had this run with this thing. Okay, let's move you past it. Let's give it to Dante, who is obviously the heir apparent. He's their Jungle Boy, Darby Allin type, MJF type for this new generation. So if you give him the Diamond Ring, you have to do something with it. It has to mean something. And so we'll have to see what happens there. Like, what does that get him? What does that benefit him? You now have to tell more of a story with it. With MJF, he's a rich douchebag. So if he's going to have a $40,000 ring, he's going to knock people out with it. Great. What is Dante going to do with it? It's the big question. I think Dante picks it up because Punk somehow ends up costing him the match. It might not be blatant, but by the way, that whole switcheroo they did last week where Punk came out to MJF's music. And the thing there was a certain pundit who was like, there's no more heels in the business. Fuck off, pal. I didn't just see you at my Christmas party, by the way. It was MJF. They wanted to cheer him in Long Island, which is wild.
Did he get the tables, Bill? Sorry.
He took off a couple. But it's just like, whatever. I'm never going to that show anyway. So it's like, they reversed it. It was great, and I loved it. But they brought him back to being a heel by having him jump Dante. I thought the Dante double turn was a little weird, but I do think they have the rocket strapped to this guy, and I think he's going to pick up the win here. This match is going to be awesome. MJF, for all the doubters about his in-ring, go back and watch that Darby match he had. Oh, my God, that was art. That was so good.
You guys, these past few panel questions, you guys have knocked out of the park. Literally, really good job. And Bill, I think you hit it on the head. This match, the real winner is shenanigans because we have a big show like this. Punk's got to be on it in some form or fashion. He'll definitely be involved in this match. We can increase the heat or awkwardness between Wardlow and MJF. Very well said. Great answer. I did want to say, and Hook is there. You go, man. I did want to segue into this. because Bill, you brought it up about the alleged, that's not the right word, heel turn of Punk coming out. He was working the crowd. Obviously, he was doing his thing. Not for 1 second did I go, oh, he's an insta turn, insta bad guy. Like, doesn't make sense, yada, yada. Like, we can make that narrative. But to me personally, it was just like, he was kind of like ahead of the curve, coming out. Like, I thought that was brilliant booking. At the end of the day, he was laying out the red carpet for MJF to come out and be spectacular. MJF milking that, getting in with the crowd, the pictures, even like the fake run back at the end. He's like, nah. And then
he actually charged people. He charged people after the show to take pictures.
Even better. Like, again.
But people are like, why did he turn face in that? And I'm like,
no, we don't. Do we need to have this conversation?
He's always loved Long Island. He's always put over Long Island. And then that video he had with the narration, where just like he was touting his high school stats. Then at one line, it's like, and the chicks, man, the chicks. It's just like rolling up to high school in your Letterman jacket in like a Lamborghini. That is the douchiest thing ever.
It's a different type of heel too. Like it's not just the standard. It's a nice play on being a subtle heel that you don't see as much. And it's a different form of heel storytelling. And heels do get cheered. We all know this sometimes, So it's a fun way to play. It's a different interpretation of the heel role, and I like it. I'm here for it.
Amanda, like if you watch episodic TV, sometimes the big bad gets a turn to be a good guy, or teams up with a good guy, or like has a moment of you were kind of on their side, and then if they turn out to be a bad guy again, and this happens. It's more of a TV storytelling than a wrestling story thing.
It reminds me of like the Christmas special for He-Man going way back.
Wow.
With Skeletor being filled with the Christmas cheer. That's
such a deep.
Kind of that.
It's amazing.
So hard.
I love that reference. That's amazing. But Amanda,
MJF is Skeletor, is what you're saying.
That's amazing.
Pretty much.
MJF. Hashtag MJF is Skeletor.
Kimmy's like, wait a second. What is He-Man? 2. What's a Skeletor? 3? Television? I don't get it. No.
That's amazing.
Look at Wikipedia. No, Kimmy, you wouldn't get you're not going to get that.
Okay.
Very well said, though, Amanda. You beat me to it because the business is evolved. It's not like all this old school way. We live in this reality era. When I was working with the 80s virtual signings, every single guy that came in there, they said the same thing. They thought every punch was real. When we went out to eat, they were afraid of us. Like they believed everything. We live in this reality era, where we're talking about face and heel. That wasn't a thing back in the day. It was good guy, bad guy. You believed all of it. And it's very different now. So it's like you said, a different kind of heel. I love the fact that in this one city, it's different for him. And he built that on the previous shows, and he came in and he milked it for all it's worth. Again, I'm not the biggest MJF guy, but he has impressed me the past couple of weeks. I thought it was very, very well done. That being said,
wouldn't you have hated it if he had turned on Long Island and says, you know what, now that I'm here, I realize I hate Long Island and I'm from Stamford, Connecticut now. Like that was
just too much.
It would, it wouldn't have been
off
as
on,
good.
off on. Yeah,
it would have been. It's better.
It was perfect, like literally perfect.
Apparently, came out
just
to
like
Billy
Bill.
Joel after. I know,
nice.
Apparently, came out to Billy Joel after the show was over.
Come on, how was that not on TV? Well, I guess you can't use it. But
you can't use it.
Yeah, I was going to say because that on TV would have been amazing, but but that's a perfect segue because I already
know who that is.
I know it's a joke.
Nice.
I have to do that to Rob anytime I reference an old wrestler. I'm like, Rob, New Japan Pro Wrestling is a wrestling company in Japan.
This is the perfect segue, and when I saw it happen, I already knew that Kimmy and Bill were. I knew Bill was going to disagree with me on this, but when Brian Danielson came out and did that insta heel turn, because it wasn't just about his opponent, it was about the crowd, it was about the Dark Order, and yes, we all know we're moving the chess pieces, so he runs through the Dark Order, makes perfect sense, yada yada. But I'm more about the organic. I'm more about the storytelling, just like we were talking about with MJF. That being said, when he came out, kind of got, hey, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say, you're taking on me. Don't take me lightly. Shook his hand kind of thing. Leave it there. Maybe a nasty look. Yada, let it build over the next couple of weeks. He goes off on the crowd. He goes off on the Dark Order. And it's almost like that. I'm a fan of him. But and Mike Mueller agrees with me on this one. I'm glad he's got my back on this. That being said,
That's fantastic for him. I got Bill on my side. Like,
there we go.
Tag team right here. Let's
War
go.
games. That being said, I think it was like, oh man, I'm gonna heat for this too. It was like when Christian Bale played Batman. I didn't buy in. I never believed it for a second. And with that turn,
I think you got to heat with the bandit right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the only one.
Great on the podcast.
I'm
I
the
don't
only
know.
one.
It's like as long as you don't badmouth Heath Ledger, we're good.
Okay, no, not at all. Amanda's like, I gotta go.
Like,
but
ugh.
Like Bill, let's see on the Boba Fett podcast in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we have the
Nice.
Boba Fett thing.
Yes. It felt so to me. It felt so forced. It felt so, well, two faces are fighting, so we have to make one a bad guy. And if you are going to do that, again, because we talk about this, like the business is evolving, we live in this reality era. I felt like that was a non-AEW move. I felt like someone said, hey, well, why don't we make Brian a bad guy since he's fighting Adam? And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And it didn't feel organic. To me personally, it did not feel organic. And not to be like, I had a major problem with it or anything. It kind of took me out of this match a little bit. That's just me personally. Kimmy, I see you raising your hand very politely. Take the helm.
So excuse me, Mr. Williams, have you ever seen the American Dragon in Ring of Honor?
Yeah, it was the first time I saw him.
Did you hate him then too?
But yeah, I know where you're going with this. And like we could do this all day. He was a heel one
That's a
time.
good
But
one.
you know what I mean, though? I'm not saying he's a bad heel. That's not my
what
argument.
I'm saying, but this is the character he had in Ring of Honor, and this is the thing that made him a huge star in WWE. So if you hate it now, that means you hate it then. So my question is, did you hate it then? I'm jumping 5 steps ahead.
I see what argument you're making. My problem was that the turn itself didn't feel organic, like the build to that character didn't feel organic. That's where I'm coming from. And that being said, you bring up very good points. That character is what got him over in WE. That character is what got him over in ROH. That's some very good, as did the Yes movement. But that being said, that's a very good, fair point, Kimmy. That's a very fair point. I just had a problem, as did Mike Mueller, with the build to that, the turn, and then every week he's a bad guy like that. That's how I felt people were complaining about Punk.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Bill. I know you want to weigh in.
I convinced Mike Mueller differently, I think. So here's why I disagree with what you're saying. I 100% see where you're coming from with it. To me, when Bryan Danielson came in, he says, I'm not here like CM Punk to help people. I'm here to kick heads in and win the title.
Now you're speaking
So
my
when he
language.
said, I want your title and I want it now, this is what he's always been. Think about what nothing he said in that promo was different than what he was saying to Kenny or what he said to anyone else. It's the same thing. It's just, it happened to be to a guy we like and the crowd likes. And then the crowd's like, hey, that's our guy. And then they start turning on him. And he's like, oh, you know what? You're fickle. You know what? You like this guy so much? Let me tell you about this guy. And he was just like basically saying, I took enough shit elsewhere. This aggression will not stand, man. I'm going to tell you how it is. Nice. Lebowski reference for everybody.
I'm with you.
And then so it's like, he's like, yeah, this guy I fought after WrestleMania, instant heat there. And he's just like, this guy, when is he going to wrestle next? You're the guy with excuses. You don't want to fight me? Fight me now. And then he's like, all right, I'll fight you now. He's like, well, hey, listen, pal. Of course you're going to say that. No, you're going to fight on my terms. And that's what Bryan Danielson always has been, but not the Bryan Danielson that was the smiley yes movement babyface. He's saying, this is what I'm here. I have a mission to wrestle and beat people up. I want that title. Oh, you're not going to fight me now? Well, guess what? Now I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. Much like he told Kenny, but now he's saying to a guy we like. And what's going to happen is at the end of this match, okay, I'll skip the line. Hangman's going to win this match. By the way, the font makes it look like Wangman, which Bryan Danielson has already brought up. So I'm not the first one. But he's going to win this match, and what's going to happen he's going to be like, I respect you. You beat me. I respect you. And he's going to go back to do the exact same thing he did to Hangman, 2 bad guys now. 2 guys we don't like. So he's going to constantly walk this gray area of he's never going to change. It's just who we pit him against. And that's how we're going to see him. So if he goes against Sting, for example, it's not going to happen. But if he goes against Sting, then we're like, oh, well, you're being a piece of shit to Sting. He goes against MJF. Oh, he's getting MJF good. So I think that's the chess game we're going to play, and it's a very odd. It's a tightrope they're walking that not everyone's going to enjoy. But I don't think it was unearned, is what I'm saying. And I also think that Hangman Page go win.
Yeah, that's your guy right there. Bill always, and bringing up some very great points. Bill always putting things so I can understand them. I'll give you that, man. And you had some very valid arguments. Because I did think about that promo when he first came in, and he's like, I don't want to be nice to everybody. I want to kick, everyone's heads in. Like that was on point with what we're seeing now. That's a great point. Also, I'll add this to your argument. It's a great way to water down those yes chants, get them out of here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to do that as well. So yeah, you know that. Amanda, very curious your thoughts on this kind of turn or partial tweener kind of thing we got from Bryan Danielson right now.
I really think he's the perfect person to cater to us as fickle fans. This is really what it is. I mean, Bill, you made excellent points because in listening to you, I was like, he called us fickle. We are fickle. And we're going to be fickle with whoever he goes up against. So he is not lying when he calls us fickle. And I think he's the perfect person to walk that tight line. I also feel like he is just it's a testament to the talent of Bryan Danielson, not just in the ring, but his ability to cut promos, his ability to do storytelling, because not anybody could do kind of a quick kind of walk this line. Not everybody has that talent to be able to have you either get behind him or to at like the drop of a hat, again, being fickle, get behind him or no, we don't want you right now. We're going to boo you out. To me, it just, again, he's tremendously talented, and it just is another reminder for me of just how amazing and why he's one of the best in the world, all the way around. So kudos to him for walking that line, because not everybody can please the fickle people.
That's it.
With that being said, I feel like Hangman's going to keep the title. It's too early for him to drop it, and and I feel like this is going to be a match of the night right here. It's going to get majority of the time. And just even though, Bryan, he's undefeated, at least as far as I remember up to this point.
Only the tie.
The draw or whatever. Yeah.
The draw, right? That was the only one. I was like, I couldn't remember. And I mean, I guess the tricky part is but even if he loses to Hangman, I don't think it's going to hurt him.
I have an idea of what happens next.
Okay.
So I'll say it afterwards, though.
But I'm going with Hangman. I want to hear your idea.
I think he goes against Jonathan Gresham for the Ring of Honor title.
Oh!
Because Jonathan Gresham called out, he said, to validate the Ring of Honor title, I have to fight the two men who made it mean or two of the most important men who held this title, CM Punk and Bryan Danielson. And Jesus Christ, I think it's the perfect way to do that, because then you take, I don't know when it'll happen, but like it'll take Bryan away from titles, and the main event picture gives him something completely separate to do. Kind of like FTR in the AAA title, kind of like Moxley did with the New Japan feud. So he wasn't really interacting with people. He's got his own thing over here. So I think that's eventually what we're going to go see, because alrighty, that would be great.
With that being said, Bill, do you feel like Jonathan will show up? Maybe after the championship match? Right now with all the buzz from Ring of Honor. Yeah, right now with the buzz from Ring of Honor, with everything with Final Battle, I can see that happening. Just walking out and staring him down or something.
Or in the crowd, just in a suit with the belt. He lives in Texas.
Mm-hmm. He does.
And Baron Black is his partner in Invictus, who works for AEW. I mean, he does stuff on Dark. Could see those two guys. A good way to promote that show, and it'd be neat. It really would.
Interesting. Very well said, guys. I'll say this. I think we're all on the same page with Hangman getting the dub here. Retaining it. I hate to always bring up this argument, but he just won it. You can't lose it that quick, because that's always how we go. I'm trying not to be in that mindset these days. I'm trying to think a little differently, as AEW does, which I appreciate. That being said, I wouldn't have been surprised if Bryan Danielson came into AEW, maybe not the first match, but coming in and putting guys over left and right, which he will do eventually. which he did on his way out of WWE. Kofi Mania, all that kind of stuff. Like I would always pick him to lose when we did WWE prediction panels because he was putting guys over left and right. I can't think of a clever pun, but that being said, I think for sure Hangman gets the big win here. It's going to be a great match. I hate that there's going to be commercial, and I hate to like nitpick because like we don't have to like buy it on pay-per-view. This is a treat. Like I shouldn't be like that, but I feel like the commercials always do kind of take you out of it a little bit. I wish there weren't. Maybe maybe they get them out of the way early. I don't know, but I think this is gonna be a really, really good match. We're still making our match of the year picks, so maybe this could be in there. So I got to go with Hangman to retain here. Kimmy, I see it on the board. What do you got?
I mean, why would he lose? But to go off of the Jonathan Gresham thing, so I'm quite excited about this because it has to be pure rules. Kimmy's not a fan of pure rules, but whatever. The match is still going to be good. But yeah, Hangman's going to win. Brian's going to do everything he can to make sure that this match is absolutely amazing. Because that's what Brian does. He puts on really good matches. And, he's had a pretty good 2021, Mr. Danielson. I mean, I'm just going to main event WrestleMania, then I'm going to go on the Grand Slam, and now I'm going to go here. Like, you go, Brian. Way to go, my dude. But yeah, good match. Yay. Go on.
That's it. And I think we already talked surprises, any wild theories or anything else. Because I feel like if there's a surprise, it's going to be after this match, right?
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. So it could be Gresham, but if they really wanted to make it big, man, someone from New Japan coming out and challenging Brian for the Tokyo Dome. Like,
Kata.
So they're doing that whole thing where it's like Ospreay, Shingo, Okada. Who's the real champion? Wow, who knows? So seeing like someone from New Japan challenge him could be a thing. I definitely could. There could remember Sting was like, who saw that coming? Like nobody. So I don't know. Like they could pull a real rabbit out of the hat that we're not even thinking of. Just don't make it EC3's group. Please,
well, I know who
Jesus Christ, don't make it Braun Strowman in EC3.
Oh God.
What do you got,
Braun
Kimmy?
Strowman,
They did an angle at,
Wesley Blake.
oh God, and they did that at Ring of Honor, and it was so long, and no one got it, and everyone's like, "What is this?" Like so.
I need Mike for the Braun soundbite right now. I need to get like a Mike soundboard so he does all the impressions.
But I guess it's a really big question of that. I mean, I could also see them adding a match. I could see like
same.
Griff Garrison and Malachi Black because they shot that angle during Dynamite or something like that. I could see something like that. But
another women's match.
It would be nice. But I don't know when the TBS quarterfinals are supposed to be. It got to happen soon because the finals are in less than a month away. So we'll see. I think we're going to be. I think the next few weeks they said they're going to try and end strong. We're going to see a lot of stuff coming from them.
Yeah, very well said. All right, guys, let's get out of here. Before we do,
we got Trent's mom.
Yeah.
Who's available on Cameo? I think I heard. So we'll have to get
I sent that to you.
We'll get the drop for BCP from Trent's mom. That sounds awesome. I'm here for it.
Amazing.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. But we're all about that shameless promo here on the BCB. Bill, tell them about a little something you work for called the popbreak.com.
Well, if you must follow me on Twitter, because that's a great idea. I am at Bodkin Writes, WRITES. But most importantly, follow thepopbreak.com. Of course, Rob writes for it, and Kimmy writes for it, and Amanda is going to be a regular on some of our podcasts. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Pop Break. We've shot a whole bunch of shows this year, so you can check all stuff out there. But check us out. I am the co-host of the Socially Distanced podcast, which drops every single Friday on Apple, Anchor, Google, and Spotify, all your favorite podcasting platforms. Currently, we're finishing off our third season. We're doing Hawkeye, and then we're going to be starting the Book of Boba Fett in January. Amanda's going to be a part of that, which is going to be rad. We got 3 more episodes because I'm going to do a small one. I'm also going to do a wrestling podcast, solo one myself, hopefully record it this weekend. And check out everything. Like I said, Socially Distanced and The Winner Still Is, Pop Break TV, Breakcast, and the Way Too Early Oscar podcast, all your favorite podcasting platforms. So, yeah, that's me, man.
Oh man, thanks for coming on, Bill. And Amanda, tell them about a little something you do with Mission Pro Wrestling with some of my favorite ladies in the business. Lady Frost, Genocide, who's amazing. Sam Laterna.
She's amazing.
Sam, oh my gosh, so many, a Thunder Rosa, so many great people involved with that. The best in the business, and that includes yourself, Amanda. Tell everyone
thank you.
about where you GM over at Mission Pro. Shameless promo.
Shameless promo. Mission Pro, amazing. Please follow. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Stream us, Title Match Network. We've got some amazing things. You can catch our last show, Silver Bells, last show of the year. Right now on Title Match, our next show is January 29th, and we'll be back in Conroe at the Southern Star Brewery. So more ticket info to come on that and streaming information. But our last show was fantastic. Actually, Thunder Rosa's son, Anakin, made his debut and knocked it out of the park. Anakin, I've known him for a while, and they just knocked it out of the park. Very, there was not a dry eye, there's like, they're hugging each other, and it just, we all got emotional.
Force is strong with that one too.
Oh yeah. It was fantastic debut. And I fell for Mighty Myra, man, because her neck was, I was like, may the force be with you, because I was like the Hunger Games, do the whole Hunger Games thing. Because I'm like, oh, you got Thunder. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But shameless promo there, of course. I gotta give a shout out, Bill. Pop Break. I mean, it's such a great hub of information. As a nerd, I like going through and reading everybody's reviews, and just, of course, doing the Social Distance podcast. Yeah, I go through. I'm like, ooh, and it's really. I'm particular about easily finding information right off the bat. Super well organized. So if you're an anime fan, there's a section. If you're a Star Wars fan, there's a section. Wrestling, there's a section. So if you're like me, who likes easy access to information, it's all at your fingertips. And so, I mean, and just shameless promo for everybody here, because you guys all are incredibly talented and do so many different things. So please, please, please follow the coolest people in the land, you guys. If y'all aren't, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. That's all I got to say.
Nunez isn't here.
I know. And Nunez is not
Best
here.
smelling man in the world.
Yeah, that's right, man. He's people's sexiest man of the year right there. All right. That being said, and I didn't shout out Holiday, also on the show. Nunez's favorite. Love Holiday. Just for her banter alone and her in-ring. Amazing. Next level. Get her on TV, please, every week. Kimmy, you got a lot of stuff. What do you got?
Too many. I said, me and Ella were joking about this last week. We were like, we do too much for our own good. And I'm like, you're right, we do. And here we are, and we're doing more in 2022. So where should I start? I'll start with Warriors of Wrestling, January 15th, with our newly crowned women's champion, Jade, taking on Brandy Lauren.
Former guest of the show, Jade.
Yeah. Hey, you got to get Brandy Lauren on there too. Like,
the undead.
Be an honor.
So check that out if you're in the Staten Island area, or if you're in the New York, New Jersey area, like Rob Trek there in the middle of nowhere in Staten Island. So you can too. I write for the Pop Break with Bill, and I have something to send you. I just have to write it.
How many times I've said that to myself? I'm like, don't forget to write that thing. Yeah.
This semester is kicking my ass. I'm sorry. So that's a thing. So I know. This weekend, I'm back with my favorite people at my favorite job ever, because I'm working a convention. Icons of Wrestling at the old ECW Arena. Sting's going to be there. Britt Baker's going to be there. Ruby Soho's going to be there. I'm going to be there with Bronson Reed and Red Velvet. So I'm going to have one hell of a freaking good time. So if you're in the Philly area, go check that out. There's
Bronson Reed is like the nicest dude ever.
Good, because I'm going to be working with him. I really only like working with really nice people.
Go around the corner to Tony Luke's for a cheesesteak. Blow your mind. Change your life.
Okay. See, I'm picky though, so I might not like.
Blow your mind. Change your life.
Okay, I'll take that. So you can follow me on Twitter at Kimmy Sokol, and then Bill and Amanda tomorrow gets to beat me again because we're podcasting tomorrow with Mike, because my YouTube show is back, guys. Like, we're doing this.
I totally thought that was today too. I'm like, what show are we doing today, man? I have no idea. She's like, you're doing my show tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. I think I know what to do now.
And then I was like, aren't you excited? And he goes, yeah, I have another day to think about all the categories for our end of the year stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I have very organized notes for tomorrow. Like, guys, I don't think you all are ready.
I am
and
never
yeah.
ready for any podcast I do, even when I'm hosting.
All
Wow.
off the cuff. I love it.
That's pretty much it for me. I do a lot of things, too much, and 2022 it's gonna be big, especially for me in the promotion business. You know, we might be turning some pages for the biggest event ever.
Interesting. She got something's brewing.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Shameless promo for me. We got BCP 300 hopefully coming up at the end of the month. As always, we're going to find a charity we're going to work for. We're going to auction off some items. We'll have some band performances like we always do. So guys, so stay tuned for that. And guys, let's get out of here. Like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace. Hashtag Johnny Winter's coming.